Okay, you'll be the last one, don't worry.
Thank you very much for the fantastic presentation. My question is to Dr. Chris Wamarwa, who happened to be also my teacher. Chris Wamarwa, you have given a presentation relating more on effective to deliver the desired goals. However, Dr. Chris, you have not emphasized on the issues whereby the MPs face challenges on the expectations by the electorate. Take, for example, we are undergoing a serious problem with the NGCDF. We had looked upon to get the proper funding so that the manifesto or the work plan that we had prepared or promised the electorate, we are able to deliver the desired goal. So how can we achieve our desired goals without the resources to meet those desired resources? Thank you very much.
Honorable member.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity, and thank you very much, the presenters, for those exciting presentations. My point is an issue that Honorable Wamarwa raised. I think it's a germane point that at the point the mover is replying, it kind of, in most cases, the rush over moving instead of taking into account the comments, the suggestions, and all those proposals made by the members. How do we cure that? Is it to be cured at the point the mover is replying so that the speaker reminds the mover, or is something that can be dealt with under the standing orders? Thank you.
The Honorable Jen Kiara, and then finally, quite a bit of agenda in yeah, okay.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Mheshimiwa Nyele Nyeupe.
I wish to thank the presenters because somehow now people know the seriousness of being in Parliament. And this was Kibaki's principle. In fact, if you are in Kibaki's office in State House and it is Parliament time, he'll tell you to go. Go to the Parliament, that is where you're supposed to be. And when he chaired the PAC, when he was the official leader of opposition, he chaired every meeting as opposed to Uhuru, because Uhuru's vice became the de facto chair because he was never there. Only that, Honorable Lago, you didn't tell us how we are going to fill this hole that we are digging. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
Introduce yourself so that we
My name is Rendikiri Mugambi, Member of Parliament for Bori. I'm serving my second term. Please, we were with you. You are one of the person that mentored me specifically. But one of the things that I observed throughout the last 5 years was where the House leadership, together with the Speaker, time is up. That has been a major problem. And when you're saying that we lash out and come back, the greatest problem is that people are not given opportunity. For example, when the mover says seconding, you are only told to say, I second. And it's proclaimed loudly. Please say, I second, and you sit down. The seconder is not even getting an opportunity to speak because the proposer or the mover has spoken. And he calls your name and tell you, Mr. Indikeli, you are going to second. So my business, because of being lashed by the Speaker and the House leadership, I only say I second. So I have not given an opportunity to contribute to the matter. I think, to me, Mr. Chairman, one of the problems that we are having is not us members, is also the leadership is sinking the opportunity of the new members to contribute. So we are killing ourselves on one side and pretending to be doing the right business for the members. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Parashina, and then Omboko last.
Thank you, Speaker. My first question goes to Honorable Luoch. Luoch, yes. As about the issue about the skills, which kind of skills or strategy do we apply on what is going in the House? Most likely when we're in the Parliament, we see there's a lot of, I don't want to say sabotage, but the way the seniors treat us, or the leadership, they take us as first-timers. We agree that we are first-timers, they give us certain names. But even if you go to the Bible, I'm sure the Bible or other doctrines, Timothy was able to learn from the Apostle Paul by going feet by feet. So I don't know which skill can I apply or learn when them themselves are not taking us as members of Parliament or who need to learn and understand. The second question goes to Honorable Wamalwa and the issue of communication. We get a lot of pressure, as far as time or me, I can speak on myself, on how to manage the Parliament, issues of Parliament, and how to deal with our societies back there, our electorates. They have a lot of pressure. I think yesterday someone told me you'll become blind, because every time you have messages, phones, and everything. So I need to see, to be an effective, how can you help us on the issue of something to do with communication, because you have been there before. Thank you.
The Honorable Omboko, and then the very last one, the MP for Kisumu.
I find this necessary, Chair, that I speak on this, and I would want Chris to make some comments on this. That the expectations of a new member of Parliament are very high, especially when it comes to speaking on the floor of the House. And when I arrived in Parliament, I had my challenges with Speaker Muturi. You remember many times him shutting me down. But now I'm in the Speaker's panel, and I thought this should be shared so that we are able to see how we shall be working. We have a total number of over about 349 members, Chris. And when you are giving chances to these members to speak, you have to consider many other aspects, including the subject matter, the leadership of the House, which are certainly preferred when it comes to speaking. There's the issue of expertise, and then there's the issue of even the committee chair of that particular topic, leadership, regional balance, and even gender, among others. So people with disability and so on and so forth. So you find that members may feel like they're being left out. Yet by towards 5, 6, and you know very well, there'll be no members of Parliament in the House, and you'll be even looking around for people to speak, and sometimes you have to wound the House early. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kisumu, and Tonkei, last one.
Thank
Very
you.
last one.
Thank you.
Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Mheshimiwa. Order. At least you accept the decorum of the House. Keep on raising your hand, but sit down. Sit down. Parliament has got certain discipline also. It's not a marketplace. Order. The Speaker has a discretion. If you keep on raising your hand, you will catch the eye of the Speaker. But don't behave like it's a school or okay, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, my rightful names are the Honorable Elisha Diambo, the MP for Game. I think I'd pass my accolade to my two former colleagues for having taken us through this session. But what boils to my mind, the Honorable Chris Wamalwa, you spoke about the desired outcome or the intended outcome. I believe, like the first-term members of parliament, what they get at the constituency is as is constituency. Once they redefine their strategic plan, then you can talk about a to-be constituency. So there's an interface between as is and the to-be, which is the desired state of that constituency. But more importantly, you spoke to effectiveness. What is the variance, the correlation between effectiveness and efficacy in terms of achieving results? Thank you.
The Honorable Member Tonkei.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Rebecca Tonkei, the county
Order,
MP.
honorable members.
Order.
Order.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, he's interfering, and the Chair is protecting me. My name is Rebecca Tonkei, the county MP Narok. I want to thank the honorable members, Chris and Olago, for the good presentations. No, they were, I'm well known to them because they were my bosses when I was working in Parliament. And clearly, Honorable Olago, you're looking good. Honorable members, when we look at what the points that are being raised, there is an issue with the newcomers. I'm one of them. And this needs to be addressed, and most preferably, we will need another session, an induction for the new members, because we feel that this is just not enough for us. You've spoken, Honorable Olago, about the expectations. There is a lot that is expected of us back at our counties or our constituencies. What is that one thing that you'll tell us as new members that kept the electorate of Kisumu electing you each and every time, even when you stood on an independent ticket? Thank you.
The Honorable Member in the middle there. Proceed, the Honorable Member who was getting agitated. Yeah, proceed.
Yes, thank you. My name is Titus Lote, the MP for Kacheliba.
Kacheliba.
Yes. I actually had a lot of questions to ask, but I have this concern. And this concern actually goes to the presentation that has been done by Honorable Chris Wamalwa. In terms of how the first-timers are treated. And I know decorum is a two-way. Decorum from the leadership and also decorum from the House. Because this is not the first time. In the House, we've complained. And I think this has been said by first-timers. You raise your hand, you have a point, you cannot say it because you are a first-timer, your name is not known, you do not have any credit to speak. And I say this because I kept raising my hand from the word go. And this is what happens. It is not a mistake by you, but it's a mistake by every leader that sits in the chair that you sit. You jump the newcomers. And the newcomers will not learn, they will not ask questions. The people that will ask questions are the people that have always been there. And I don't know why in a session like this, you give the people that have been in Parliament to ask the same questions they asked last year and last term. Please allow the new members to ask questions, not the people that have been there. We are not here for competition, we are here to learn. In fact, the question I wanted to ask is gone because I'm agitated. Chris, I will ask you when we meet at home. Thank you.
Order, honorable members, honorable member, honorable MP for Kacheliba. For your information, I have not been in the last two parliaments. I have a difficulty understanding who came now and who was there in the last time. So order. The chair is talking. The very basic rule you have to, first of all, is that when the chair is talking, you freeze where you are. So learn the rules, for God's sake. Now, but what we have done, I do agree with you, and I appreciate your concerns. Order. And I appreciate your concerns. I appreciate your concerns. There are many ways to catch the speaker's eye. You could slowly slip into the chair and say, Mr. Speaker, I'm a first-timer, I'm the MP for so-and-so, I want to speak. The speaker will always, whoever is on the chair will give consideration to the first-timers. The other bit is that I don't know how the rules have changed, but a seconder during my time had time. Actually, we used to have, I think, about half an hour, 40 minutes or 10 minutes for the mover, and another 20 minutes or so for the seconder. If the rules have changed, I don't know, but I'm going to revise the standing orders again. But now, could you proceed, please, and ask your question? You also realize that all 300 of you cannot ask a question every time at the same time. So let's also be conscious of the time. And the very interesting presentations that are going to be done by two officers who hardly come to our meetings because of the nature of their work. And I'm sure you'll find it very fascinating interrogating the IG, Inspector General, and the Director of National Security. Proceed. Proceed, Honorable Member for Nyeri.
Thank you, Chair.
Kenny.
My name is Duncan Maina Madenge, first-time MP, Nyeri Town constituency.
Town,
I wish to pick just a bit for the two panelists and the comment by the Honorable Oboko Mirema in terms of the balancing that the chair needs to do. I think on that list of considerations, there should be inserted the consideration for first-time members of parliament, so that maybe in a particular session, we have at least a reserved number of slots that must contribute. Then in that way, you'll have the House, the leadership of the House, will have contributed to our being effective members in the House. The second element is this popular phrase that seems to always come from one corner of the assembly, pull the question. And most of those times, in fact, most of the first-timers seem to have approached the chair for consideration. That element of cutting out debate even before the time allotted for debate to be concluded should be reconsidered by the leadership of the chair in terms of contributing to effectiveness. Lastly, the two eminent gentlemen have told us about effectiveness on the floor of the House. But there is the other level of effectiveness in terms of the people who elected us, in terms of our contact with the electorate, and considering that you have been quite active on the floor of the House, but there seems this time round to have been a disconnect that now you are advising us from the other side of the House. What is it would you contribute? What is it that you missed in terms of the engagement with the electorate that could benefit us?
Now you proceed and yes, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Banissa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're the last one, so.
My name is Kulo Malim Hassan, MP Banissa Mandera County. I want to begin with thanking the two panelists whom I have served in the last parliament with, especially my friend, Dr. Chris. My problem or my question is, whenever the last 5 years, whenever an important bill, especially say the bill, the government bill, or an important bill comes to the House, the speakers are predetermined. You will see the speaker giving chance to 7 or up to 10 speakers who have already been predetermined. And I want to say that, Mr. Chris, you could be part of that cartel, because I always see you given the chance to speak. So how do we tame this leadership against this spice?
Yeah. The Honorable Member, proceed, Council, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Geshimo Gedenji, MP Geshoko. My question is directed to Honorable Dr. Chris Wamalwa, and I'm inviting your comments on instances whereby a bill requires to be replied to, but at the end of the seconding, someone rises under the provision of Standing Order 95. And it happened in the last parliament. There were interests to contribute to the bill. But someone rose under 95, and that was the end of it. Yet, there were so many members in the House ready to contribute. What is your take on that? Thank you.
Now I can call upon, when the chair, whoever is chairing a session, is conscious of the interest that's there in that, the contributors or many who want to contribute, you can always overrule that. Whoever is on the chair is going to gauge the mood of the House. Mood of the House is going to tell you, but as a former deputy speaker, I'll tell you now, I don't know whether the rules have changed, but then you can say no, there's interest, so let the debate proceed, continue. Proceed. Although the provision is there in the standing order.
Thank you, honorable members. I really want to thank you because you've been very active. That means you are listening. You know, when you're in a class, you can tell the class was attentive from asking questions. But if the students don't ask questions, that means they were sleeping. I want to confirm that this is a very active parliament. Now, I want to answer quickly, starting with Honorable Gidinji, then before Kishugu. And this is in line with Standing Order 95. Standing Order 95, a member can rise. He can talk of maybe looking at the mood of the House, you call the mover maybe to reply. So the speaker has no powers, by the way. He can only ask the members. So the speaker will only be called to put the question. And that's the tradition. When a member has risen and he was asking that the mover to reply just to end the debate, the speaker is obligated to put the question to the members. It is you members to make a decision. And now that's when you say the ayes have it. Or if you don't trust what has happened, you can rise up for the division. So it's also your responsibility, if you want to continue the debate, to mobilize your colleagues. So when the speaker calls upon that question, the speaker will go as per what the voting has been done. I think that is the spirit when it comes to standing order. And what Mheshimiwa Gidinji has said is true. And there's no way somebody can come and say the mover to reply and the motion has not been seconded. That's not procedural. Because for a motion to be proper on the floor of the House, it must be moved and it must be seconded. Because when you go to the Hansard and the debate was allowed and yet it was not seconded, it is not procedural. So it is indeed important, whoever will be on the floor, when somebody has called at Standing Order 95, he must put the question and it's you members to make that decision. Now quickly, Honorable Banisa, Honorable Hassan, we used to call him Masharia, I don't know where he is. I want to tell you I was not part of the cartel. And at no time was I given any responsibility. You know, the standing orders are clear that when it comes to speaking, priority is given to the leadership. We have a provision for majority leader and minority leader, okay? You as a member, what I used to do, and this I want to tell you members, you use it. And that's why I say for you to be a good legislator, that commitment. Make sure you go to the House early enough and lock in your card, okay? Lock in your card and monitor it quickly and stay there. Because many members, the problem they have, you come in, you lock, and you go out. No, you must be patient and monitor. That is from my experience. Maybe now it's not working, but I can see the leadership is listening. So one of it, we used to be with the Honorable Maanzo, who is now a senator, okay? So you come quickly, and the Honorable Ombogo, I was also your mentor, you know that. You know what I did, eh? Yes, but you didn't say. And you are a very good student. I used to sit next to Honorable Mboko, and he used to consult always. Let me tell you, honorable members, identify some of the seasoned members of parliament and try and sit next to them. Because Honorable Mboko used to consult. Then when it's standing order 95, he comes and asks, is it the proper time? I mean, yeah, from the mood of the house, I think it's the right time. And in any case, it's you members to make the decision. The speaker cannot decide. He must put that question. So identify one of the ranking members or an active member who is always in the house. When there is a challenge, request that, always consult that ranking member. He'll be able to help you. I remember even Honorable of Funyula, I don't know whether he's here today. That MP, we used to sit next to him, and always in the committee of the whole house. As one of the starting members of parliament, he never used to miss. Honorable Dr. Oundo there, he used to be there. So if you want to learn more, you must be there, and there must be that patience. And we used to consult each other. So identify some of the good legislators, consult where there's an issue. But now, there are interesting things which have been raised here. I don't know, there's not much time as such, but I'll try as quick as possible. Whatever I don't touch, Honorable Olago Lodge will be able to say that. Honorable Rebecca of Narok, I can see the issue of the new members of parliament. It's a critical issue. It is important that the House Business Committee or the Committee of Procedure, at that time, I don't know whether TJ is here, I've not seen him. He used to do very well in the procedure. Yes. Absolutely. So like some of the things you've mentioned here, you can be able to put them in the standing orders, and the Committee of Procedure can be able to bring those issues to be addressed there. And I remember a time when you used to have issues, TJ Kajuang at one time used to be the one chairing that committee on procedure. Please go and put your proposal there so that it can be part and parcel of the standing orders. Another issue was Honorable Member for Game. You know Game, we are told, is a place for very good scholars. And he talked of efficiency and efficacy. You know, English, effectiveness is about getting the desired results. When you talk of efficacy, efficacy mostly is used when it comes to how drugs manage patients. So efficacy is the same as efficiency. Actually, that's the synonym. So when you talk of effectiveness and efficacy, it's like saying effectiveness and efficiency. And I want to agree with you. The two words have been used simultaneously. When you talk of effectiveness, it's about getting the desired results irrespective of the cost implication. But when it comes to efficiency or efficacy, you are bringing in the element of the cost aspect to eliminate the issues of wastages. So those are some of the terminologies in most cases have been being used interchangeably. And one member mentioned about the constituency. Honorable members, I mentioned Honorable Moroto. I want to recognize Moroto because Honorable Moroto, when I came to Parliament, he's the one who oriented me around. He might not talk much on the floor of the House, but when it comes to his constituency, I did many fundraising in his constituency. I remember Honorable Midiwo, and we are from different political divides. And you as honorable members who are here today, let me tell you one secret. You must work across the political divide. There are many times we used to go to Kapenguria for purposes of doing harambe for this Honorable Moroto. And people used to wonder. I used to be with Honorable Midiwo. We are in the opposition. Honorable Moroto was in government. But every time, when there's a harambe or an issue in his constituency, he could invite people across the political divide. This also helps in the healing of this nation. And Honorable Moroto, when you go to his constituency, he focuses heavily on what the constituents want. So for you, honorable members, one of the key success factors is for you to come back. And research has shown that coming back as a second member of parliament is more difficult than coming in as the first member of parliament. I hope you know that. And when you come in for the second, it's easier to come in for the third. So you can get experiences from Honorable Moroto, but my advice to you is listen to your electorates. The electorate is the one that will vote you back. But if you don't speak in parliament, even if you do some good things, watasema, huyu mheshimiwa hata hatujawahi kumsikia akiongea kwa bunge. So when it comes to value proposition of your constituency, it is ever changing. So there must be that delicate balance. You must be in parliament to legislate. I'm imagining cattle rustling in wherever you come from. The people will ask you, what have you done in parliament about this menace of cattle rustling? Honorable Matia, I don't know whether Honorable Matia of Yala, she's here. You see now the electorate will not wait for you to say, we want to have ourselves with guns, okay? They'll want to know, what have you done the time you've been in parliament on the issue of cattle rustling? For instance, you can bring a motion of adjournment to discuss that matter. It is critical, that's what we used to do. Yes, exactly. So you can rise up, as the speaker, motion of adjournment to house the leave of the house, so that you discuss a matter of national importance. And the standing orders are clear. You must have, is it minimum of 30 MPs to rise and support? So by doing that, they'll see you are doing something as far as the issues of cattle rustling are concerned. Oh, time, eh? Okay. You know, they asked many questions, so let me conclude, honorable members. Honorable Jen Kihara, MP for Naivasha. It is true. Kibaki's time, and it's been quoted elsewhere, even the time the ministers are supposed to go to answer questions, even if they were having cabinet, President Kibaki used to say that please, let's finish our meetings so that you go to parliament to answer the questions. And that was the time under the parliamentary system where there was question time. Now it's presidential system, we don't have question time. But I'm aware you are looking for a way through the standing orders so that the cabinet secretaries can come to the house to answer questions. And that will be a good opportunity for you, honorable members, to address the issue of oversight and the issue of representation. Because the minister will come on the floor of the house on matters of the roads, you will be able to question that. What plans has the government put in place in terms of making roads, let's say in Kwanza constituency? You have that opportunity. So once you finalize on the standing orders and the question time is there, when you go to the UK, in the House of Commons, you'll see question time, all members of parliament are there, they don't have any sitting space. Because that's the time you can represent your constituency. Issues of electricity, issues of roads, issues of cattle rustling, the minister will come there and you'll ask him direct questions for him to answer. So when that time comes, I think it's going to cure a lot as far as representation is concerned and as far as oversight is concerned. Honorable Mugambi, on House leadership, you mentioned about this issue. I think the members of the speakers panel are here. You've heard the concerns of the new members. It is important you develop a framework on how do you do it so that these new members can also be given an opportunity to speak, isn't it? So I think the members have heard, and I think that's going to be worked out. On the issue of CDF, let me mention something with CDF. Before I came to Parliament, I had an opportunity as a consultant. We were with Engineer Karue. Engineer Karue is the one who originated, who brought this issue of the CDF, okay? And it was a World Bank project, and I was one of the consultants with Engineer Karue. And even when you look at our recommendations, when you go to the CDF board, we recommended that CDF, the percentage should go up from 2.5 to at least 5%. Right now, in every constituency you go to, the most popular brand name that adds value to the constituents is the CDF. And I want to salute you, honorable members. CDF should not be allowed to go. This is the time it should be enacted in the Constitution. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. said this, that we must learn to live together as brothers or we perish together as fools. And I'm happy the teamwork you put across when it comes to matters of CDF. CDF should never go. You go to some areas, they've not heard even about the funds from the counties. It's only that CDF is there. So, honorable members, please, by now you should have put a law in place to amend so that CDF can be incorporated in the Constitution, not in the statute law. Are we together? Tuko pamoja? So I want to wind up so that Mheshimiwa can be able to come and continue. Honorable Mboko, Thank you for your concern. I think time is gone. So let's allow Honorable Olago Watch also to come and say something. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time, so I'll take only a few minutes. Honorable Donya talked about what is on video and how your constituents expect you to take the role of TSC. Again, that is to do with the expectations of members, the voters that brought you here. They expect you to be the solution to all problems on earth. And that is why you become the ATM, like they say. You become an undertaker, funeral undertaker when people die, all sorts of things. But then again, I think as time goes, you'll be able to make them understand what you are able to do and what you can't do. Honorable Wina talked about the decency and decorum in the House and what needs to be done. I think that comes back to what I said earlier, skills in conflict resolution. If you're skilled, then issue of decency and decorum should not be an issue. But again, if that's the way you were brought up, the way you were born, there's nothing Parliament can do about it. If you're just indecent and you lack decorum, and that's how you are, Parliament cannot help you. So again, if your constituents think they want somebody who has no decorum, no decency, to come to Parliament on their behalf, that's what they wish, that's what they get. Honorable Kiara said, how do we fill that hole that we are digging ourselves into? By spending much more than we are earning. If you're going to stay alive, you have to find other ways of filling that hole. Sometimes by being dishonest, unfortunately. So when you dig yourself in that hole and you want to come out of it, and there's no way, you may have to resort to being dishonest. That's not the best way to go about it. So in my view, the only thing to do is to avoid digging yourself into any hole in the first place. If that means being called mean, let it be. But getting out of a hole like that will be difficult if you get into it. Yeah. The issue that Honorable Parashina and Honorable Tonkei talked about, I think first-timers need time alone for this type of seminar. I do not expect that you put Honorable Tonkei in the same session with Honorable Kaluma and that they are equal, because they are not equal. So you need to have a session to yourselves so that some of these issues you are addressing are addressed specifically to yourselves, not when you are mixed. Lastly, Honorable Mathenge said that I and Honorable Wamalwa have been re-elected. Yes. You asked what could have gone wrong this time. Is there a disconnect between us and our electorate that made us not come back to Parliament? I can't talk on behalf of Honorable Wamalwa. I don't know why I didn't come back. But I can talk about myself. There comes a time when you feel you have done the best you can, you have done enough for your constituents and for the country. But you don't want to step down. Because if you do, tomorrow your son or your daughter wants, they will be told, your father was given an opportunity, he ran away from it. You give your family lineage a bad name. So you go into campaigns half-heartedly, so you can say, you rejected me, that's why I'm out of Parliament. And you feel happy about it. If there's anything else I didn't touch, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big clap for honorable members. Order, the member of parliament for game. You have had your chance. We are listening to other members who are also going to. Honorable members, standing order number 95. I don't want us to get this wrong. Standing order number 95, when somebody rises up after the seconding or whatever it is and says that may the mover be called upon to reply. If in the opinion of the speaker or the person on the chair, that is either frivolous or takes away the rights of other members of the House, then of course the majority is not going to be followed and the speaker is going to overrule. I've just checked it. That's how it was during my time. That's how it still is. 95. I don't know whether, because the one I've just been going through, because you have to understand a House is the right of the majority to have its way and the right of the minority to be heard. You can't take away that. If in the eyes of the speaker, he feels that there's an undue, what do you call, majority, which tries to silence the others. You realize in our country, we changed the constitution in 1 hour? You remember that when we were moving the section 3 in the section 2A? Now, it's important for us to understand the history and also appreciate the right of members of parliament. Honorable members, a big clap for my two friends here. And I'm also inviting the IG and the man from the intelligence to come up in the front here and take over. One more clap again for Olago. And okay, let me first of all start there. IG and the representative of the Director of Intelligence. I want to believe that you must be Mr. Marsa. I've heard the name, but I've never seen you. Is it? This is Marsa? Dr. Saif. Welcome, Dr. Saif. IG comes here on the left side, or rather, as the important person up here. Please do come here. And where is Honorable Gladys Cholet? Oh, okay. Please come and take over this session. I am very tired.
Honorable members, we now move to our next session, which is the topic is on emerging issues. Honorable members, order. Emerging issues in the national, regional, and global security. And we have the great honor of having Engineer Japheth Kome, EBS, HHC, Inspector General of Police in the Republic of Kenya. We also have a representative who is standing in for Major General Philip Wachira Kameru, Director General for the National Intelligence Service. He's represented by Dr. Saif Muhammad, Director of External Division in the National Intelligence Service. I have a brief profile of Engineer Japheth Kome. Engineer Japheth N. Kome is the Inspector General of the National Police Service and President of the AFRIPOL Assembly. He holds a degree in civil engineering from the University of Nairobi and is a registered engineer by the Engineers Board of Kenya. He previously worked as Commandant of the National Police College. Yeah, we can have a round of applause for that. He previously worked as the Commandant of the National Police College, Main Campus Kiganjo. He was also the Principal Deputy for the Deputy Inspector General, Nairobi City Police Commandant. Director of Planning, Kenya Police Service. He was also the Deputy Director of Planning and instructor in the Kenya Police College, Kiganjo. He has also served as an officer commanding the police division in Machakos, Murang'a, and Nairobi, and officer in charge of the anti-stock theft unit.
Mheshimiwa Tongoyo, Honorable, is it on? I speak up? Ah, yes. Honorable members
Can the
of
ICT
Parliament,
team please deal with the sound? Because that has a problem. This is okay. Can you deal with it?
honorable members of Parliament, Dr. Saif Mohammed, the Director, External Affairs, NIS, fellow police officers with me this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard, I'm Japhet Koome Ntonchevere, and I'm humbled to have been invited by you, honorable members, to speak to you on emerging issues regarding security at the national, regional, and a global picture. That is what we requested, and we shall stick to that. However, honorable members of Parliament, kindly allow me to introduce my team. With me is the Deputy DCI, Bwana Nicholas Kamwende. Stand up and wave. I also have with me Dr. Resla, the National Police Service spokesperson. Honorable members, I wish to congratulate you for having been elected by our good people to represent them. I also thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve as the Inspector General. I was told it was a unanimous decision. That is something I'm not taking for granted. And I'm ready to serve without fear or favor. Honorable members, I wish to assure you I've given clear directives to the officers in the field. They must work with you. They have no option. You are the representatives of the people. We must listen to you. I keep telling my officers, if he's an OCPD, he can be transferred. But can I transfer Honorable Mother Wangari? I cannot. She will remain there. Therefore, that is the message, that is the clear message out there, honorable members. We must work with you. The other thing, and you know this better than me, we have a beautiful country. Before I came in, there was an American making a presentation here. I hope so. And we met somewhere along the corridors. And you tell me how beautiful our country is. I have traveled. Likewise, you have all traveled. Widely traveled. I cannot imagine of any other country in the world where 45 minutes you are enjoying yourself on a beach. If you want a desert, I've flown over Charibi Desert twice. Take off from Lodwar, fly over Lake Turkana, fly over Charibi Desert. It's beautiful on the ground. It is white. You want a cold place? From Nairobi, 30 minutes you're in Mount Kenya. Our people are beautiful. They are warm. You know, a Kenyan, when he laughs or smiles at you, it is from the heart. Those who have been to US, to UK, the smile you get there, is it really genuine? But a Kenyan, you tell a Kenyan there is corona, don't handshake me, there is corona, don't hug me. But he still wants to hug you, he wants to handshake you. That is our people. How about our food? Our food is delicious. We are blessed. What the point is, when we are given opportunity to serve at this level or at my level, every morning, let's remember, let's look up
There is God in heaven. There is Allah up there. We have been given opportunity to serve. Some of us, we have seen it all. I've been a policeman for 31 years. Niko saa 12. I'm an old man. But there is generation to come. I'm encouraged when I see young members of parliament here, Mwirigi. I call him my son, Honorable Mwirigi. In the morning, he was telling me, I made sure when some years back, I got him a very good bodyguard. This morning, he was telling me how happy he is with that officer. I know he was unmarried those days, so I was careful. I know whether we shall discuss about that later. Therefore, what I'm saying is we need to work together. You are state officers, very senior in the government. I'm a state officer. So let's keep talking. However, and I hope curtains are drawn. I hope this camera is from Federal Forces. Because honorable members, and at times have become unpopular. The maid is in the room. Yes, because I wish to request, is my humble request, honorable members of parliament, when we are out there, you are uncomfortable with an officer. My dear sister, she's here. Sister, she's here.